开始了吗？阿弥陀佛，
阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛，世界各地的莲花童子们，大家
About
早。
all pilgrims from all over the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
很高兴和
Tashigali
大家在
everyone.
云端见面。
I'm very
我是
glad
今天的
to
主持
meet up
人
in
罗南
Zoom.
助
I
教。
am
我来
the
自马
compare
来
for
西亚
today.
沙
I
巴
am
景丰
DA
雷藏寺。
国
现在
南.
是时
I'm
间
from Sabah.
是应该是
I'm
7
from
点
Sabah.
48分，
Now it's
在
7:50
台湾时
p.m.
间，印尼时间6点
Same
48
time
分，
as
巴西
Taiwan.
时间
In
上午
Indonesia, it's
8点
6:48. In Brazil is
9分。
in Brazil it's 8:49 a.m. and in
凌晨4
Seattle
点
this
50分。
is 4 a.m. 4:50 a.m.
2023
Today
年
is
10月6日，
Friday,
我们这
12th
4门
May.
课都用3语直播。
So
大
this
家可
class
以
may
选择
be
华语、
conducted
英
in
语
3
或印
languages.
尼
You
语。
can choose either
今天
Mandarin,
的课程
English,
是
or
真佛密
Indonesia.
法第2
Today's
章，
class
叙说
is
自教完整一回第8节，
this is
生
lesson
受苦。
8in
好的，我们
the
将在
detailed
8节的
exposition
正
of
式
complete
进入课
tantric
程。
sadhanas
现在
and
离课
today
程
we're going to touch on
离
the
开
rebirth
课时间
mantra.
还有应该
We
是
have about 10,
10
we
分
have
钟。
about 10
那
minutes
我想
before the
先让
class
大家
starts.
轻松一下心情，
I would like
再
you to
把
relax a
歌
little
分享
bit
给大家听。
and I
因为
would
这
like to
首
share a
歌
song with
是
you.
莲飞上师在平台上带出的歌词。
This is a song from Master Lian Fei.
歌词关系到我们生活中人生
And
活过日
if
子
you look
心
at
情，
the
所以大家可以跟着
lyrics,
看着歌词
it
来参与
relates
唱。
to
大家说好不好？
the feelings of the true Buddha school
好的，
disciples.
看平台上的全部反应都蛮活跃的，那我就和大家一起唱咯。
Let's sing the song together. The
不好
is
听
in
请见谅哦。
Chinese.
这首歌歌名是我们是一家人。
It says that we are family. That's the title of this song.
我的家乡是真佛中，你的家乡是真佛中，从前的
So basically, the song means that my hometown and my parents as the true Buddha school and the Maha Twin Lotus Pond.
团结起来，相亲相爱，因为我们都是一家人，永远还是一家人。我的家长是真佛宗，你的家长是真佛宗。从前的时候是一家人，现在还是一家人。手牵着手，肩并着肩，轻轻地唱出 Om Guru 莲生西地吽，团结起来，相亲相爱。因为我们都是一家人，永远还是一家人。我的家乡是漠河双莲池，你的家乡是漠河双莲池。从前的时候是一家人，现在还是一家人。 手牵着手，肩并着肩，轻轻地唱出 Om Guru 连声悉地吽，团结起来，相亲相爱，因为我们都是一家人，永远还是一家人。好的，谢
Apologies,
谢。
I'm not familiar with the song, so I can't sing it along with the compare, the master of ceremony.
是因为看到歌词有所感触，里面歌词有写到，我的家乡是真佛中。
I want to share this song with you because it mentioned that my family and my hometown is the true Buddha school, and we are all a family, and we'll always be a family together. So we will all meet at the Mahalotus Twin Pond. So this is the best arrangement that anyone can get. So the master ceremony is welcoming all my Kumaras who has joined Zoom for the lesson.
还有睡得好，助教你好，瑞士莲花少敏师姐你好，莲花小香助教你好，莲花春燕讲师你好，马欣师姐你好是吗？马欣的对，你好莲花艺校助教是助教您好。我还有，我看一下下面呢，有开镜头的，还有美俄助教也在场嘛，是吧？其他的还没有开镜头。还有一菲讲师，还有马来西亚的莲花的德旺助教，您好，阿弥陀佛。
Video could do so.
师姐您好。我的这个镜头好像是看不完全部，不好意思。好的，那么欢迎大家参加今天的课程。
Welcome everyone to the class today.
已经进入 Zoom 的同门，如您方便的话，可以把摄像。
For those who are on Zoom, if it's convenient, could you please turn on your video and also indicate your Dharma name? We are indeed a family. So we have about 5 minutes before class start.
最近世界中委会教育处属下法学堂在5月3日也开课了。
So Fa Xue Tang under the TBF has started a class which is about the management of the cultivation venue. So tomorrow there's also a class in the morning at 9. There are 4 classes in all. 在家众关系的正确理念。好，今天的授课导师依然是我们尊贵的Lianyi。So today's lecture is still the Honorable Master Lianyi. So after the lesson, we will have Q&A. We will first invite Master Lianyi to answer questions that from last week. And then we will answer questions from this week's lesson. You can leave your questions in the chat box. 还有这个，我看到莲花春燕讲师，可明师姐您好，可明师姐。还有这个慧仙师姐哦，还有先父助教您好，好，西莲奇法师在311雷藏寺的您好，
莲花绿禅助教你好，对，马来西亚的莲花金兰师姐您好。接下来的我看还有其他的吗？哦，还有建清师兄，您好，建清师兄。哎，自由师兄助教嘛是，还有姿荣，姿荣助教是姿荣助教你好，
We
还
continue
有
to welcome everyone who's coming online.
向雷藏师啊，莲花伟盛，对对对。好，老周师兄你好，老周。啊，还有这个莲花秀娟助教马来西亚的，你好你好，好的好的，看好了，我们上课时间也差不多要到了哦，
It's almost time for class.
2分钟。还有2分钟的时间，我看还有谁？我也看到雷上司也上线了，雷上司您好，雷上司。
阿弥陀佛。主持人，我稍微 restart 一下我的那个这个。
好。
Our lecturer, Master Lianyi, is already online,
好，等上司。还有
but
慧
Master
仙
needs to
慧师
restart
姐你
his
好，
laptop.
还有这个印尼的苏拉巴亚的来吉汤啊，师兄你好。405啊，这样有看到405的照片，还有这个 Ratna Sari Ongkomi 啊，师姐你好，马来西亚的金兰师姐你好，建金顺你师兄你好，还有伟华讲师你好，罗亚讲师，彩虹助教您好，彩虹助教，Betty 师姐你好，啊，看到连家上市了，连家上
To
市你
all
好。
our masters, rabbins, Dharma instructors, and Dharma assistants are slowly, and other fellow disciples are slowly joining the Zoom classroom.
啊，这个连刚是助教，你好，对不起。还有小金师姐，小金师姐您好，春燕啊，春燕讲师你好，应该有开镜头的，也差不多就是已经，还有啊，西妹讲师，对不起没看到了，西妹讲师你好。好，我们在等雷上师的他的电脑。那么我们要不要请理财讲师有没有借一些东西啊？
Let's hang on for a little while we wait for Master Lianyi to be online again. He seems to be having some technical issues with his laptop.
阿弥陀佛，可能助教我 OK 了。
Master Lianyi is back online.
好的，好，我们现在时间也到了哈，真佛密法课程
It's 8 o'clock and the class will start now. Let's put our hands together and pay homage to the Buddha lineage guru, living Buddha Lianxin, the past lineage gurus of the true Buddha school, the triple gem of the shrines. And we pray for our lineage guru to bless the class. May everyone enjoy the class for today. Please form the Padma Mudra and recite the heart mantra of the Padma Kumara. Guru Lin Shin Siddhi Hum. Om 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 Guru Lianshan City Home. Om Guru Lianshan City Home. Amitabha. Welcome to Honorable Chairman Master Chen to our lecture for today, Master Lianyi, Education Director, Master Lian He, Pure Director, Master Lian Cha, Master Lian Fei, all Masters, Senior Reverends, Dharma Instructors, Dharma Assistants, and all fellow disciples who are online. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and all disciples on the Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you for joining our class. Last week, we learned about the importance of the High King Sutra. So High King Sutra is a sutra that every true Buddha disciple must recite. It is the collective name of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas from the 10 directions and 3 times. And when we recite them, it's akin to paying homage to the triple gems. So the base number for the High King Sutra is 1,000 times. It is beneficial to whether your parents, your children, even that your one who's diseased, so on. And tonight the lesson will be lesson 8 and will be Rebirth mantra. So there's will be you're touching on how to recite So we'll be covering a number of questions. So let's invite Master Lianyi to deliver the class. Let's put our hands, let's put our palms together and pay homage to our lineage guru, living Buddha Lianshan, past lineage gurus of the true Buddha schools, or Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, and Dharma protectors of the shrine. The Honorable Chairman, Master Chen Zhu, Education Director, Master Lian He, PR Director, Master Lian Cha, Master Lian Fei, all Master Senior Reverends, Dharma Instructors, Dharma Assistants, and all fellow disciples, all the Master of Ceremony, translators for the lesson, interpreters for the lessons. Today, we will continue with the true Buddha Tantric Dharma, and we will be covering lesson 8, the Rebirth mantra. Before we start, as usual, we'll do a recap. Question 1. The High King Sutra was not transmitted by Shakyamuni Buddha. So where was it transmitted from? Please write your answer in the chat box. That's correct. It is a dream sutra that is transmitted via a dream. What is the first epithet in the High King Sutra? What is the first epithet in the High King Sutra? Does anyone know the answer? That's right. It's the pure light secret Buddha. Question 3. Name one of the practices for hindrances removal used in the true Buddha school. We have 8 methods. You just need to indicate one. Wow, Dharma brother Lao Zhong has indicated all 8 methods for hindrance remover.
每个人写都有不同的答案。其实最简单直接
Everyone has written different answers, but actually the simplest is just to recite High King Sutra 1,000 times. Second would be to recite the root Guru mantra 1,000,000 times. The third would be to cultivate 200 sessions of the repentance practice. The fourth will be to pay homage and make offerings to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, sponsor building of temples, to sponsor the creation of the images of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Fifth, recite the epithet of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas until spiritual response is attained. Sixth, acquire strength for the meditative concentration and wisdom. 7, to root Guru's cultivation and blessings. 1, unwholesome karma is either substituted or diverted. And the last, transformation to emptiness. So let's go into the lesson proper. So in the true Buddha Tantra Sadhana, reciting the rebirth mantra 7 times is the last section before the main practice. Let's recite this mantra together. Namo Amitopo Ye, Tota Gyato Ye, Tote Ye Tha, Amilito Popi, Amilito Sitan Popi, Amilito Pekalemde, Amilito Pekanto, Gyamini Gyana Zito Gyali Soha. So this is the rebirth mantra. It's very short.
这个往生咒呢，其实很多人就看到，哎，这个往生咒就有一个观念，就是认
So
为
when people see the rebirth mantra, they always
亡者或
it's
者
only for the disease, for someone who has died or someone who is dying. Just let me share a story with you first.
有一次闭关的时候，他就病得很
There's a
严重，
counter who met with some obstacles during his retreat. He was sick for several days and was not recovering.
跪在佛菩萨面前，
So in the end, he knelt in front of Buddha, kneeled in front of Buddha, in front of the shrine, and he asked, why did I meet with such a huge obstacle during my retreat? Did Buddha not bless the cultivator during retreat?
就听到一个声音，
And at this point of time, he heard something. He said, this is the manifestation of your karma.
显现。然后这个修行人说，既然是我的业障
And
显
this
现，那我应该
cultivator asked, then what should I do?
那个声音就对他说，
And then the voice told him,
念那个拔除根本
you
业
should
障。
recite the root mantra for eliminating karma.
那么他讲这个咒是什么咒？我没有听
And he
过。
asked, what is the root mantra for eliminating karma? I've never heard that before.
生咒
It is the rebirth mantra.
大悟，原来呢，
And suddenly he realized the rebirth mantra
称
is also the name for Dharani, for eliminating the roots of all karma and be reborn in pure land.
是这样子。
拔一切业障根本的生净土陀罗尼. That's the Chinese.
所以我为什么我们一听到往生咒就觉得，哎呀，一定是念给往生的人。
Why every time we heard the rebirth mantra, we think that we're reciting it for the dead, and we feel that it's very inauspicious.
它有本身呢有两个意义的。
Actually, there are 2 meanings to this mantra.
一切业障根本就是说，
First is to eliminating the roots of all karma,
就是给我们
and this refers to your present life. And then the second,
往生就是
being reborn in pure land. That is your afterlife. So there's actually 2 meanings to reciting this rebirth mantra.
所以过后呢，这个修行人就跪在每天
And after this, understanding this, he will in front of the shrine and recite the mantra 21 times daily, and he became well again.
一个故事告诉我们不是只是看他的表象，要了
So
解
the story tells us that we shouldn't look at just the surface. you must understand the meaning and the merits behind the mantra. So the rebirth mantra you can recite anytime, everywhere, because it eliminates the roots of all your karma and applies to the present life. And then the second part, as I mentioned, is to be reborn in pure and refers to the afterlife. We should recite these every day. It helps us to eliminate our karma. Let's talk about the rebirth mantra. Let's talk mudra and the visualization. The mudra for the rebirth mantra is the Great Ocean Deliverance Mudra. When forming this mudra, you have to visualize the spirits taking the Dharma message to a pure land, or you visualize the heart chakra of Amitabha radiating lights on the spirits, inviting them to the heart of Amitabha and delivering them from suffering, allowing them to attain happiness and be reborn in ultimate bliss pure land, which is Sukhavati. So there are two ways of mention. The spirits taking the Dharma vessel to the pure land, or visualize the heart chakra of Amitabha radiating lights on the spirits and inviting them to the hearts of Amitabha to deliver them from suffering. So what are the benefits of reciting the rebirth mantra? So if one recites this mantra 200,000 times, a seed link of Buddhahood will be generated in their heart. And if you recite this mantra 300,000 times, Amitabha will always be atop your crown and protecting you day and night, giving you peace, great peace and stability. And at the end of one's life journey, one will naturally be reborn in Buddha land. When living Buddha Lianyi practices the Tantra for spirit deliverance, he will invoke spirits from different countries to come before the shrine. Living Buddha Lianyi often recites the rebirth mantra and teaches the spirits to recite the same. The spirits, with their recitations of the rebirth mantra, will definitely move Amitabha, who will guide them towards rebirth and the Western ultimate East Pure Land. So Grandmaster is very compassionate. He will always practice the 1,000 vessel deliverance practice. So before you engage in the rebirth practice, you first need to enshrine a Dharma image of Amitabha, of the Western ultimate bliss pure land, and the best one being one where Amitabha is holding a lotus throne, and the other hand is holding the wish-fulfilling mudra to symbolize compassionate, auspicious fulfilling by the Buddha towards the wishes of sentient beings. And if you visit the Grandmaster's Rebirth quarters, at the entrance of this quarter enshrines the Dharma image of Amitabha Buddha. This image is very compassionate and majestic. So Amitabha is a Buddha of the West in the diamond realm. In Tantric, Amitabha is one of the 5 wisdom Mahavarachana and resides in the samadhi of discriminating wisdom in the West. In Chinese, it's known as 西方妙观察智三昧. And in the womb realm, this is the 8 petals hall in the West, 中台八叶院, and there are 4 bodhisattvas being Vajradharma, Vajratisna, Vajrahetu, and Vajrabhasa. So Tantric regards all phenomena in the universe as the manifestation of Mahavarachana. So those great wisdom and virtue will be known as the diamond realm. Those that exhibit rationality will be known as the womb realm. And when we talk about wisdom and virtue, we're talking about Buddha's wisdom is profound and omniscient. And when we talk about rationality, it is a wisdom to understand the emptiness of all dharmas and to seek the wisdom of the Buddha path.
开展阶的理性。那大乐如来的5个智慧相信大家都知道了。
And I'm sure everyone knows what are the 5 wisdoms of Mahavajrana, the very all-seeing Dharmadhatu wisdom. This wisdom refers to the realization of the absolute truth, the natural state of all things.
法界就是所有世间的一切的法，称为法界。诸法这个是这些法界所依的体然后呢，这个法然不坏，就是像虚空，虚空不坏嘛，就是它的心嘛，就好像我们的佛心也是不坏的。所以说法然不坏，能决断分明无尽诸法之智这个是佛的一种大智慧。
So this is a kind of great wisdom of the Buddhas. The second wisdom is the mirror-like wisdom, and this refers to the wisdom to contemplate all matters with rationale and clarity. So this wisdom is pure, perfect, and penetrating. Is illuminating all things like a huge round mirror. The third wisdom is the wisdom of equality. And it refers to a wisdom of Buddhas that is selfless, that is compassionate, and equal towards all sentient beings. So the Buddhas is selfless and compassionate and equal towards all sentient beings.
所作之，为佛成功所作一切鼓励众生的智慧。那佛他要
So the fourth wisdom is the all-accomplishing wisdom. It refers to a wisdom of successful acts, of Buddhas doing things to benefit all living.
这个是成所作之。那第5呢，就是妙观察智。
So the fifth would be discriminating wisdom, which is the wisdom of observing all phenomena, observing the aptitudes of all sentient beings, and to teach and forming them from an ordinary being to a saint, being able to clearly discern the cause and condition of the external environment, being affected by it. And this is to be a Tathagata is to transform the environment with your heart.
他明白这些因缘不会被外境所转的，他的心能转。
Most important part is because this was allows the Buddha is clearly able to discern the cause and condition of the external environment. They are not able to affect by it, but instead they are able to transform.
以前呢，还没有发明靴子的时候呢
Story that I want to share with you. Before there were shoes, everyone walked barefooted. So everyone will be hurt by the pebbles when walking on the roads. So there's a country with a smart minister who covered the entire palace with cowhide. making it very comfortable for the king to walk on the floors. And the king issued an order. He feels that so the king issued an order and said, "This man is very good. Why do you cover the whole? I want you to cover the whole country with cowhide." So can you imagine we have the place called cowhide in the entire country? How much cowhide will we need? But another minister say the king doesn't need to go through such a lot of trouble. I just need to tie 2 pieces of cowhide on your feet, and you will be very comfortable no matter where you go. And this story tells us that to change the external environment, it's difficult. It's really not easy. So there's a saying to say that change yourself. Why not change yourself if you try to change yourself, not others, because we are not able to control the speech, thinking, and behavior of others. So the only part that we can transform is our own heart. So if someone is being nasty to you, this is all karmic connection. So how you treat people, it's all about your mind, it's cultivation. So I saw this article that is written by Master Lianyi. I find that it's very similar to what I was relating. He spoke about a couple who a very loving couple, and someone asked the question, "Does your wife have shortcomings?" And she has a lot of she has a lot of shortcomings. How about good points? Not much, the husband said. And then how do you get along for so long? He said, so it means that okay, and he said you have to amplify the good points of people. Don't look at just the shortcomings of the person. This way you will learn how to get along with each other. So like I said, it's difficult to change the propensities of someone. That's really difficult. I'm sure they experience these. You have family and friends, and after getting along with each other, you find that everyone has their own habits. So the only way we can do is to change ourselves and try to accommodate others. I remember Grandmaster in one of his teachings said, if we keep looking at the bad points of people, you keep looking at the bad points of other. What will you become? You become a trash can. But if you keep looking at the good points of other people, you'll become like a treasure bowl, a wealth bowl, because you are accumulating all the good things. So we want to be a treasure bowl. Look at other people's good points, learn their good points. So this will help us to accumulate merits as well. So this is one way. Remember the last time I've shared with you something about this phrase that says the wife is afraid. It's a Chinese word. They say "tai tai pa, wa wa pa tai tai." When you read it in reverse, it says that you're afraid of your wife.
我怕太太，先
So
生就
我怕太太 means I'm afraid of my wife.
然后太太就觉得，哎，你怕我，我就忍让一下嘛。
And then if the wife realizes that you're afraid of, the husband is afraid of the wife, maybe she'll give in.
然后呢，
So it's all about transforming your heart.
释放回来呢，他们的夫妻之道呢，
So
大
ever
家就
since
相安
this
无事了。
gentleman brought back
所以我
this
觉得他们有他
calligraphy,
的道理，因为
life
这
has
事
been
情是
peaceful.
每一个人必须要去面对的，所以我们必须要懂得一些方法，一些智慧。
So you must have some wisdom and methods
一些人
of how to deal with um, human relationships.
持往生咒的好处。
So what are the advantages of
发业愿的西方，其实大菩萨。
So what are the advantages of
金刚力、金刚经、金刚语？刚才讲了。
oh, this one we've gone through this. Yeah.
西方极乐世界有
So there are 4 pure lands and the Western ultimate bliss pure land, 9 different levels of lotus rebirth. There are also 25 bodhisattvas to welcome you. Do you know which are the 4 pure lands? The 4 pure lands are, first one, the land of common residence of beings and saints. The second one being the land of expedient liberation. The third, the land of real reward. And the fourth is the land of eternally quiescent light. And then when we talk about the nine levels of lotus rebirth, what are they? We will have upper superior, middle superior, lower superior. This is the first 3, to be followed by upper medium, medium, and lower medium. That's the next 3, which is the 6th. So the last 3 will be upper inferior, middle inferior, and lower inferior. So these are the 9 stages of lotus rebirth. Living Buddha Lianyi expounded during his Dharma talk, if one engages in this practice once or twice daily and perseveres, all sentient beings will definitely be reborn in Pure Land. So you have to be consistent with reciting the rebirth mantra. And if you wish to take refuge in Amitabha, you must recite the epithet or heart mantra of Amitabha often, or cultivate Amitabha practices, or cultivate rebirth mantra tantric practices. According to the vows of Amitabha, it is easy to be reborn in the Western ultimate bliss Pure Land. In fact, the simplest and the most direct is to recite the epithet of the Buddhas, especially for someone who is older or our seniors. You know, it's maybe a challenge for them to go through a sadhana, to form, to do visualization, to form mudras, etc. So maybe for seniors, it's good for them to just concentrate on reciting the epithet of Buddhas. So the merits of the rebirth mantra is immense. You can chant it anytime, anywhere. There is no need to distinguish between yin or yang, dead or life. Life and death are the same. I did mention that rebirth mantra for the living is actually very good. Of course, if it's for those who have for the deceased, also it's also a very good mantra. So Living Buddha Lianyi expounded, if you are calm, all is calm. When your mind is calm and you think of the world as radiant and pure, even the toilets are pure and your body is also pure. As such, you can chant anywhere. So when you recite a mantra, there's no such thing as, you can chant anywhere. And when your mind is calm, everything is pure. So when you have light in your heart, the world illuminates. A person who has a kind heart is compassionate means that your heart is radiating with brightness. So it's not only the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will radiate brightness. As long you have a kind heart, you can do that too. Yesterday, when I went to visit my mother, and I saw the scenario, it's very touching. There was a little girl. She was driving. She was driving on the road, and there was someone who has a physical disability. He doesn't have legs, and because this disabled person is not able to walk, he will his wheelchair to beg for money and hope that someone who is kind will give him some money. Every afternoon, he will wheel his wheelchair to his home, and he will wheel along the road. And when the little girl saw this, he stopped immediately. And, and he walked towards this disabled person and pushed him out and said, where do you live? And pushed him home. And then she went up her car and drove off. I'm very touched because she's very young and she looks like a student. She understands. She knows compassion. And she's very kind. So I feel that this little girl has light in its heart. Her heart is eliminating light. And what she does, she's benefiting others. And when you are benefiting others, you are actually using the light in your heart and shine your light, the light in your heart upon others. Every day when we do something, when we do giving, when we do dharma, when we work, when we volunteer at the temples, your hands are actually radiating with brightness. When you're doing all these booty works, your hands are radiating brightness. You know, all these professors or these volunteers who are helping with booty works at the temple. They're all very busy. So what are they doing exactly? So as long what you're doing booty works, something that is meaningful, your hands are already radiating with brightness. As long as what you're doing benefits other, your hands will radiate with brightness. Let me tell you a secret. So I want to tell a story about D.A. Chewin. Do you agree that I share this story? D.A. Chewin, yes, say yes. So there was one time I went to Sington chapter for Dharma propagation, and we were doing repentance practice, and D.A. Chewin told me there was a lady who lost her way and didn't know how to get home. You know what did D.A. Chewin did? She drove this lady who is lost her way home. And that car belongs to the lady. And how did she go home? How did D.A. Chewin go home in the end, she actually healed a grabbed and went home. So she paid money from her own pocket after helping someone. So what she's doing, it shows her heart is very kind. It shows that she has compassion. So her heart is radiating with brightness. I just want to let everyone to understand this vision. We must always develop kindness, develop compassion, so that we will, our heart will radiate light every day, radiate with brightness every day. So what we say every day is also very important. Every single word that we say, as long what you speak is meaningful and make people feel joyful or help someone eliminate their troubles, your mouth is radiating with brightness. This you're using your positive energy to eliminate the darkness in someone's life. So next, we will talk about the Manjushri rebirth practice. And true Buddha school, before we eat, disciples have to perform deliverance. The head chef and sous chef of restaurants should always form the Great Ocean Deliverance Mudra and recite the Manjushri rebirth mantra and visualize the spirits being transported, or visualize the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas or Manjushri radiating light on these spirits. So the Manjushri rebirth mantra, especially if you work in the kitchen and need to kill every day. I remember once when I'm doing Dharma propagation at a place, there is a new, there's a disciple who have taken refuge recently. He confided to me that he needs to kill many fishes, seafood every day because he's a seafood supplier. So he needs to kill all the seafood every day. So personally, I feel that it's best to not engage in uh, a profession which involves killing. The next will be gambling. And he said, what can I do if not able to change profession now? So I told him that you have to recite rebirth mantra as many times as you can. And also to register these living creatures that have killed for the Dharma ceremony presided by Grand Master. There is a very unique common practice in Pali. This is the secret tantric practice to deliver animals. So what are common practices? So it's a collective name for a collective name for some practices, and they're categorized into pacification, enrichment, magnetization, subjugation, summoning, etc. So it is a common practice allow us to wishes to be filled auspiciously. Living Buddha Lianyi once said, when a tantric master takes a meal, this is akin to doing a homa. And before eating, the master will we'll first visualize food in solid form to be as huge as Mount Semeru, and food in liquid form as deep as the ocean. And this is the upper offering to all Buddhas in the 10 directions and 3 times, and lower compassion that giving to the sentient beings of 6 realms. And Homa refers to fire offering, and this is really a huge offering. So what we offer at a shrine usually is just incense and fruits. So that's a pretty limited kind of offering, but for fire offering, it's a huge offering. It's as big as Mount Semeru. So we have to visualize food in solid form to be as huge as Mount Semeru, and the food in liquid form as deep as the ocean when we do Homa offering. If there is non-vegetarian food on the table, you will first cultivate a practice to deliver the souls of these creatures. And to avoid causing a commotion, the Tantric practitioner will first visualize and form the liberation rebirth mudra in one's mind instead of forming the mudra with their hands. Of course, if you're not with anyone, you can form the mudra, but if you have with many people and there are people who have yet taken refuge, then we have to do visualization of the mudra. And once you have completed the visualization of the mudra, you next visualize the seed silver home from your heart, radiating white light on the pieces of meat of these creatures. The light completely eradicates the creature's karma, relieving them of the suffering and attaining happiness. So the white light will eliminates the karma of these creatures. And next, you have to visualize the pieces of meat starting to take form. Pieces of beef transform into a cow, pieces of mutton transform into sheep, pieces of chicken transform into a chicken. So the pieces of fish become fish. So the spirits of these creatures, as a result of their karma being eradicated, they start to ascend to be reborn in Pure Land. So at the same time, the cultivators assisted these lives by performing offering of the body to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and all sentient beings in the Dharma realms, helping them to accumulate merits. So whenever we we form the mudra, we will also visualize the spirits boarding the Dharma vessels. And then as we sight, we have the visual light that it will slowly ascend to Pure Land. Ascend to the void. So I did mention that just now when we were doing an offering of the body after we've delivered them. This is an offering of the body when we deliver them. This will also help these creatures to accumulate merits. So at this point of time, the Tantric practitioner will use the Vajra chanting method to recite the Manjusri rebirth mantra, which is Om Apela Hom Kansala Soha. We have to recite this 7 times. And after completing this practice, you can start eating. And these are now merely ingredients and no longer living creatures because their lives have been delivered via the power of the Buddha and via offering. So this is something very unique and Tantriana. We can do deliverance even for meat. So this is actually nourishing our wisdom life. Oh, now we will be doing our Q&A, part 1. Over to DA Lianyi. I will share my screen. So as usual, there's a link on the slide, which is www.menti.com. Please join. You can use the link in the chat box, or you can enter into this link. These are the code to get into the game. 印尼粉呢，可以输入130457332。那这里给大家大约1分钟的时间来。I give you a minute to enter this game segment. 大家今天学习的如何呢？刚刚演艺上师都教了。As you're learning today, I think Master Lin has taught us a lot and shared a lot of stories. 都让我们吸收了不少的知识，增加我们的智慧，也让我们有机会。And all this knowledge will increase our wisdom, and we can become a wealth both, like what Master Lianyi has said. 看一下，好，上师，我们可以开始了。
好，问题一，持往生咒的好处。
What is the benefit of reciting the rebirth mantra? 1A, one will be prosperous. B, one will be reborn in the Western ultimate peace land. C, one will have many benefactors. So the question is, what is the benefit of reciting the rebirth mantra? A, one will be prosperous. B, one will be reborn in the Western ultimate peace land. C, one will have many benefactors. So the answer is B.
问题2。
Question 2.
弟子无论是任何一种。
The question is, true Buddha disciples must do deliverance regardless of what they eat. What is the mantra one should use? A, Lang Yang Kang, or B, Om Ah Hum, or C, the Manjushri rebirth mantra? I repeat the question. True Buddha disciples must do deliverance regardless of what they eat. What is the mantra one should use? A, Lang Yang Kang, B, Om Ah Hum, or C, the Manjushri rebirth mantra? Answer is C. So looks at a scoreboard. It looks at the Chinese channel. So Lotus Guanting is leading the scoreboard in the Chinese channel. And for the Indonesian channel, we have Betty. We have the one and only Xiang. Xiang. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you for joining the game. Let me return the mic to Master Lianyi. Let's move on to the next section. So being vegetarian, non-vegetarian, and Tantric, because people do not understand the truth that are they will differentiate between vegetarian and non-vegetarian. So what is non-vegetarian? What is vegetarian? To living Buddha Lianshen, he does not dwell on forms, so there is no difference. Regarding this question, many people have different views. Some people advocate that those who practice Buddhism must be vegetarian, and there are three main points from supporters of vegetarianism. First, the meat of animals is the meat of sentient beings. Eating meat is not compassionate. Second, the meat of animals has the consciousness of ill will. You will be tainted if you eat meat. Eating meat also causes desires to arise. Three, eating meat and drinking liquor is planting a seed to hell. You will not be reborn. So I want to say they are completely wrong in their reasoning. So, but Living Buddha Lianyi mentioned that we should not dwell on forms. If we don't, then there will be no forms. So what are non-vegetarians? They would include all animal products and plant aliums. The five aliums are garlic, green onions, leek, bab onions, and chives.
我查了一些资料呢，原来是洋葱，他说是洋葱，又叫做兴趣的意思。接下来。学佛的人不但
Someone who is learning Buddhism should abstain from taking meat and aliums because aliums contain strong stimulants, and once they are cooked, they cause one to be lustful. The same is true in life, and once you have lustful thoughts, you will create bad karma. This is how they explain the five aliums, why we shouldn't take them. But amongst Buddhist disciples, there are also those who advocate both. For example, in Tantrayana, we use liquor and meat as an offering to Buddhas. There is no taboo about being non-vegetarian or meat eater. This group advocates as follows. 1. Meat in your mouth, but not in your mind. You may be drinking liquor and eating meat, but your mind is pure and clean. And the second, the food, example, rice, water, vegetables, eaten by vegetarians, they contain countless lives and microorganisms as well. Hence, one is not free from transgression. And third, there is a unique tantric practice for delivering the souls of animals. When you perform this practice, this is compassion, and both souls and body, they become separate entities. We know that in Tantrayana, even though we eat meat, and there's a rule that I have to follow. We have to eat only 3 kinds of clean, pure meat in Tantrayana. What are the rules? You did not see the killing. You did not hear the killing. The killing is not for you. It's not because you want to eat. For example, there are people who like to eat like fresh seafood, so they want the seafood to be live. That's considered fresh. So we can't eat live seafood. So we have to follow the rules of the 3 kinds of clean, pure meat if we are eating meat. So what is Living Buddha's ancient views towards vegetarianism and non-vegetarianism? During one of his teachings, Living Buddha Lianyi gave his opinion to the above. Everything is due to affinity. For lay Buddhist practitioners, if you travel for business, to be strictly vegetarian may be very inconvenient. So to be a vegetarian or not depends on one's aspiration and affinity. For some, they aspire to be a vegetarian for life, and Living Buddha Lianyi does not oppose this. For others, they advocate eating meat. Again, Living Buddha Lianyi does not oppose this either. There are some who will slowly decrease their meat intake when the time is ripe. First, they will stop taking beef, next mutton, and last, all kinds of meat. So this automatic abstinence is all due to affinity. So I feel that Grandmaster take a very middle view, a moderate view towards this topic.
让你自己慢慢的你不想吃，那你就慢慢的减少就好了。所以输错误的心态。
So what is the wrong mindset on vegetarianism? Some people who have been a vegetarian for a long time look down on people who are not vegetarian. They have this mindset of a sinless vegetarian, a sinful meat eater. They will laugh at non-vegetarians, and their arrogance slowly arises in their mind. Therefore, people who are vegetarians, they should not criticize people who are not vegetarians. This is to prevent an arrogant mind. So I've ever met this problem before. I've just taken refuge at that point of time. So we were eating together, and we also took non-vegetarian food. So the Mahayanis, the Sutrayanis, they gave me, when they saw this, they gave me a sutra, the Infinite Buddha, Infinite Life Sutra. And they say that if you eat meat, then you're not a Buddhist. And I say, but in Tantric, there's no restriction on whether you're vegetarian or non-vegetarian. So Grandmaster has been very clear on this, point of what is vegetarian or non-vegetarian. It doesn't mean that if you're vegetarian, you will be, if you're vegetarian, your heart, your mind will be vegetarian, will be pure. So again, Tantric is different from Sutric. Sutric advocates, or rather, it is mandatory that that they be vegetarian. I mentioned that we can eat meat as long as you didn't do the killing, you didn't see the killing, you didn't hear the killing, or it's not killed for your consumption. Yeah. So this is the correct concept. Living with Lianyi neither opposes long-term vegetarianism or non-vegetarianism. And we all know that an authentic master has both abilities to kill an animal and then send the soul of the killed animal to the Western ultimate bliss land. Some killings are not for oneself, but to save others. In this case, one is not guilty. Let me relate this story about Buddha. So in one of his past lives, Buddha was a cultivator, and he possesses divine powers, and he possesses divine powers. He was on a vessel at sea, and on this vessel, there were 500 other traders with him. And he saw from his divine powers that the traders, and he saw from his divine powers that the captain of the ship wanted to kill the traders for their money. And the Buddha knew that the captain has evil thoughts, and in order to save the 500 traders, and at the same time, he need to save the captain. So what did he do? He killed the captain and saved the 500 traders. Why did he kill the captain? But because if the captain really killed all the 500 traders, he will, his transgression will be very heavy because it's a sin to kill. So the Buddha used his great compassionate heart to kill the captain to save the 500 traders. And he saved the captain at the same time so that he won't descend to hell so that he will not be banished to hell. So even though Buddha did commit a killing, but his intention was good because he wanted to save 500 people. So you can say that this is an exception. So basically it means that what you're doing may be no good, but because your intention is compassionate, is kind. So this is the reason from the story. In Japan, there was a Zen master called Hisaki Inoue. He killed a treacherous officer and saved thousands of people who suffered under him. There's also a Zen master called Yamamoto Shenfo. He said, many lives saved by just killing one is Zen. So this is righteous Dharma. This act is righteous Dharma. So this is also righteous Buddha Dharma. So this is a small story that I would like to share. The difference in the truth between killing and non-killing, vegetarianism and non-vegetarianism is very subtle. If you are able to discern them, this can also be considered an enlightened realization. Similarly, between attaining enlightenment and attaining an understanding of enlightenment, this is also a difference. These are all very important. So there's a difference. It will now be Q&A. 2. Let's play the game again. I'll share my screen again. I'm sure everyone has entered the game. Question 3. What is the incorrect method to transform a meal from an event of losing merits to one with the opportunity to accumulate merits? A. Recite the Manjushri Rebirth mantra. B. Eat all kinds of delicacies. C. Offering to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So the question is, which is an incorrect method to transform a meal from an event of losing merits to one with the opportunity to accumulate merits? A. Recite the Manjushri Rebirth mantra. B. Eat all kinds of delicacies. C. Offering to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
B.
The answer is B. Question 4. Which of the following is not authentic vegetarian? A. No biasness. B. Your heart does not dwell on forms. C. Be calculative and create affinities for selfish gains. Question is, again, which of the following is not authentic vegetarian? A. No biasness. B. Your heart does not dwell on forms. C. Be calculative and create affinities for selfish gain.
C.
Answer is C.
我们来看看一下排行榜。
Okay, let's look at the scoreboard.
今天中文版的排行榜领先的由是莲花冠廷，
family scoreboard, we have Lotus Quantity, who is the winner.
英文的还是
英文
由
is
这位
Lotus 双 Lotus 双。
好双，祝双师姐好。那印尼的我们有来自
And from the
Kitty，
Indonesia channel, we have Katie, who is the winner. Congratulations, everyone.
谢谢大家的参与。今天的问答
Thank you
也完
everyone
成了
for
就将
participating.
交给联谊上师继续
I return the stage back to Master Lianyi to continue with the class. Thank you, dear Lian.
接下来，真正的婚是什么？
So, what is really non-vegetarianism?
执着
A cultivator who loves too much, having attachments, is non-vegetarianism. A cultivator who loves material goods too much, money, cars, houses, all material goods, all this are non-vegetarianism.
行者太爱名
A cultivator who loves fame too much, surpassing one's greed, which comes from the cultivator's heart, this is non-vegetarian. Vegetarianism. Your heart dwells on appearances, all this are non-vegetarianism. So these are a few things that Grandmaster has highlighted what is non-vegetarianism.
外在的那些物质上的名位
So you will dwell on
这些
appearances, fame, material goods, and you're
什么是术？
attached to all these material
没有
goods,
分别心，
and you
因
are
平等
non-vegetarian.
就是术的。
So what is vegetarianism?
注以相
Everything is treated equally. Your heart does not dwell on
这个
forms.
就是说你本
This
身
is
实修行的
vegetarian.
一种内心的，你的内心心经的，就是术。刚才我说的，你帮了一个人啊，你说了一句好的话，
If you say, like I mentioned just now, if you did a good deed, if you say something
这
good,
个就是
this
你
is vegetarian.
都可以做得到。所以
This is
真正的
something
术
everyone
是
can
讲
do.
你的心
So real vegetarian is talking about your inner self, your inner heart, your mind. It's not physical appearances.
释迦牟尼佛曾说啊，小
So
弟的
Shakyamuni Buddha once said,
清净水
a mouthful of clean water
假
contains
如不持
84,000
咒
insects.
就是
If you do
杀
not recite a mantra, you're killing sentient beings.
所以莲生活佛教导弟子们平
So
时
this is
多
why
向
living
解
Buddha
开
Lianshan
智慧
taught disciples to
念
form
本
the great
自力
ocean
往生咒
deliverance mudra and recite the Manjushri rebirth mantra Om Apillahum Kansala Soha
虚空
and visualize these souls flying towards the void and being blessed by the light of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. When the cultivators are compassionate towards sentient beings, they're also being compassionate to themselves. Cultivators can help sentient beings to be reborn in Pure Land, and similarly, you're creating favorable affinities with all sentient beings, and you will also be reborn in the Pure Land. Shakyamuni said, a mouthful of clean water contains 84,000 insects. If you do not recite a mantra, you are killing sentient beings. So what is remarkable about Tantrayana is we have visualization, we have the mudra, we have the mantra, and through this, to the blessings, like blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are able to be delivered. So in a sense, you're using compassionate heart when you eat meat. So we have reached the end of the lessons. And I remember there are a few questions that I need to answer fellow disciples from last lesson.
阿弥陀佛，感恩莲上师的授课。今天课程不止学习到了重点和口
So
诀，
we have learned all the key points and beat on how to use the Rebirth mantra.
今天聆听到莲上师解说了往生咒的应用有往生
Also
咒
taught us
加
how to
上
use
行
the
者
Rebirth
有
mantra,
大海超度手印，观
the
想
mudra, the
用
Great
宇宙
Ocean
咒法
Deliverance
传到
mudra.
西方极乐世界，离苦
The lesson covered how we can help to deliver sentient beings, and we can chant the Rebirth mantra anytime, anywhere. And Shakyamuni Buddha said, a mouth of clean water contains 84,000 insects. If you do not recite the mantra, you're killing sentient beings. So the Rebirth mantra, together with the Great Ocean Deliverance mantra, and together mudra together with the mantra, is as way to deliver sentient beings. If there are any questions right now, we welcome you to turn on your mic to ask questions or leave your questions in the chat box. But we'll first answer the questions from last week.
没关系，我讲就好了。
一讲是放上来，好的，
我讲就好了。
好。
就是问题一。
So there's a question one. I will be going to theater for a month in Anju. What should I do about my home altar? I remembered someone telling me before, when traveling, put 3 incense sticks upside down and turn over the cups used for water and soap water. And upon returning home, light up the upside down incense sticks for cultivation practice and turn the cups upright for use. But some have also told me that this is not the right way to do it. Regarding this question, actually, Grandmaster has mentioned this in his earlier teachings. When you're going away for a longer period of time, you have to first report this to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of your shrine, like where you're going, for how long, and when you're back, then you continue to offer. So this is method one. Second, and then later on, Grandmaster, he added on, he said, if you're going away according to the Tibetan method, for example, depending on who is your personal deity, you can bring a small statue of the personal deity along with you. You will first have to visualize all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the light of his Buddhas and Bodhisattvas entering this small statue that you're going to bring along for your trip. And then during your trip, for example, in the hotel when you're cultivating, you can offer, do offering and pay homage in front of this small statue that you've brought along. So we request all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas from his shrine, the light to enter into this small statue, and you bring along with you when you travel. This is to represent this small statue of your personal deity, which will actually be representing your shrine. So the method I've mentioned is also viable. So question 2. I use a small cup to offer liquor to Dharma protectors. On the next morning, when changing offerings, I leave the liquor for my husband to drink. I do the same for the small cup of white wine offered to the earth deity. After offering the water and soap water, I drink the water and use the soap water for bathing. Is that right?
对不对呀，上师？
那这一条呢，我认为呢，你供护法的酒啊，或者土地公的酒。
I feel that the wine that you offer to Dharma protectors and of deity, yes, you can offer it to your husband. But if you offer today and drink only tomorrow, there's also a question of hygiene. For me, what I do is I will put a cover on the glass, a very thin glass. This is to protect it from dust, insects. And then the second day, you can still drink it and you can still have a little taste of the alcohol in alcohol. So this is more a hygiene question. So that the eight water hot ring. Because it's water, if you leave it until the next day, there's also a question of I'm concerned about the health and hygiene. Otherwise, you can buy a cup like the Great Compassion Dharani cup that with a cover. And then you can continue to recite the Dharani maybe a few more times before you let your family drink them. So for the soap water, you can use it for showering. That's completely fine. So this is my suggestion.
谢谢上师。还有第三
Okay,
题，
Master.
我家的客厅在财库位，好，也是佛菩萨的像和金身作为我家的财库位。每天我有供一小杯
So
水，
my living room is the wealth spot of my house. It is where I enshrine images and statues of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Every day I will offer a small cup of water, a small cup of liquor, fruit and flowers. I'm going for a long trip for 1 month. What shall I do? My husband will not help me with managing, will not help me to change the offerings or pay homage at altars. So this is same as question number 1. You just have to report to the Buddhas, Bodhisattva or the shrine to tell them when you're living, how long you'll be there, and you will do offerings again on your return. And also please pray to the Buddhas and Bodhisattva before you leave for a trip and ask for blessings. There's another question. I do not light incense in the living room every day. I only light incense at the altar when I do cultivation practice. Is this correct?
这一题呢，如果客厅不方便点香，因为毕竟有些人呢
if it's not convenient for you to light incense in the living room
他的
renting
住来
a
的地方，
place, you're not allowed to do so. It is not convenient for you to light incense in the living room. So it is okay just to light incense at the altar only when you do your cultivation. So it represents a kind of it's symbolic. It's symbolic. So most important is your heart sincere.
这个是代表你的心香。
Is your heart kind? I think that's more important, how your heart feels.
好，回答了。
好的，谢谢上师。那么
So thank you, masters. All questions are answered.
今天有一些问题，一些一些讲师有
So we
放
do
上
have
去是
some
说，
questions
一些
in
苗
the
名
chat
称有树仪、
box.
树大肠、树鸡等等，是否有意念上会有吃荤的感觉呢？上师。
So we have vegetarian meat, which is
但是你不是
name
吃那个肉嘛，它只是一种形象方面的。那其实我们密教也是先做这个超度，然后按照这个仪式来吃做供养。其实我应该是
meat
这个是一般上呢是给显教呢，它本身如果有这些观念呢，我不知道它
does it means make us have the mindset that we are eating real meat? No.
有什么感觉？吃还是不吃
So
呢？
as long as we do deliverance, there's no problem. So in Tatrayana, it's okay. It doesn't matter whether it's vegetarian or non-vegetarian, as long as we do deliverance. So there's no difference. So whether they're vegetarian or non-vegetarian, we'll still have to do deliverance. We have to do offering, and then we can eat them. So I don't think there's a lot of problem in terms of this. Thank you, Master.
一才讲师有放到说是来自 Facebook 的问题啊，这个 Albert Gray。请问上
Albert Gray, he asked, Master, does gambling also gambling, does it also include buying lottery tickets? Yes, that's gambling. But it's also a question of concept. So if it's a small gambling, it's leisure. Your greed does not arise. It's just for pleasure. It's just for pleasure. If it's just for pleasure, it's okay. But don't be obsessed. Once you accept, when you're obsessed with something, your greed will rise. So you will become a real gambler. So most lottery tickets will involve a charity element. Like if you have a charity element, like you buy the tickets, you donate a portion of the tickets to the charities. But if it's just for pleasure and it's not going to become an obsession, so it's definitely okay. I feel that it's acceptable.
谢谢上师的解答。
Sure, for your explanation.
看到说也是一个平台一个问题啊，请问上师啊，行者
He said, Master, if the cultivator loves fame too much, if he's taking classes to take exams for Dharma assistants or Dharma instructors, is this considered non-vegetarianism? So to take the exams is to see where you are, what you have learned so far, to what you've understand so far. As long as you're not cheating or use some means to achieve being a Dharma assistant or Dharma instructor, I think it's perfectly all right. For example, for the TBS online universities, we have exams. True Buddha School online university, it's not easy to be in the first place. It's even more difficult to be in the last place.
他移民去美国，他读书读得不好，很懒惰。
I did catch this as someone's son who moved to the US to study, and the father make a bet of him. Say if you came in last in your exams, I'll let you do whatever you want. And he was not successful at all. He was never last place. So in the end, he decided to be better version of himself and study harder. So just do your best to do well. This will let you realize what standard you are at.
谢谢上师。那么这里还有一道问题，他说，做生意要赚更。
And there's another question is, I want to earn more money when I do a business. Is this considered greed? In terms of money, I feel that so if you're not contented, you keep chasing after the money. So how do you define what is enough? How do you define what is enough? As another thinking, if what you've made, if the money that you've made, you say that I made this money due to my diligence. And where do you use this money? If you're just saving this money, it is pretty meaningless. So that's the He Hongsen who owns the Macau gambling.
因为你赚的钱呢，不是只有你一个人了，因为你做一个大老板，还有很多的人跟你一起
So when you earn money, there's also other people who work under you. So when you earn money, it's not only for yourself, it's also for others. But you have also used this money for doing good deeds to help people who are in need. Then you will have more merits. Just like I mentioned the last time, 周润发, Zhao Yunfa, there are three words which he used to represent his life. Shang, up. Second is stop. The third was righteous. Up, stop, righteous. Shang means up. It means that one has to be hardworking, have to work hard, move up. But when you reach a certain stage of life, you must know when to stop. Like, for example, you already make a lot of money. You must know how to make use of the money. Then earning money has it's meaningful. So is the wealthiest man in Hong Kong says that you must know how to make use of money when you earn money. So Zhangfa has the same view, the same. And the later stage of your life, you have to be a righteous person. At a point of time, you will no longer be comparing if you're richer than others, you'll be comparing about character. If you keep earning money, it's only for your own fame. So this is against the Buddha Dharma, the principles of the Buddha Dharma. If you know how to use this money in Buddha works and transform this into merits and the for the afterlife, that would be great.
请问上师，我的坛城呢，本尊是大尊的，不能带错，就用第一个方法3支香就不用倒放了，是吗？谢谢上师。
He said, Master, my shrine, my personal deity at my shrine, it's a big one, and I'm not able to bring it along. Can I use the first method? That means put the 3 upside down incense. Master said, Grandmaster has never said this before. Just follow Grandmaster method. That means to report to the Buddhas and Bodhisattva before you go for your trip. So Master, before I use a meal, before I recite the Manjushri Rebirth mantra, do I need to also recite the Padmakumara mantra 7 times plus the purification mantra, and then I recite the Manjushri mantra? Yes, you can do that. When we consider the length of time that you're gonna need, the length of time to do the deliverance, because there might be other people who are eating with you. They might feel that it's a bit too long. You can first visualize Grandmaster atop your crown and recite the Padmakumara mantra 7 times. This is, yes, you can do that. Or you can also recite Om Mahom as a way of purification, as a means to purify the food. There's a question, can I visualize the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas on my shrine traveling with me? Grandmaster has also thought this. If you go away, going far away after you reported, like you're going away, or at a hotel at other places before you cultivate, you can visualize the shrine at a home appearing in the void. And then you start your cultivation. It's just like in the plane, you can use the same method, visualize the shrine at home appearing in the void, and then you can start your cultivation. Thank you, Master. 老中师兄 said there's another question. For the great compassion Dharani water, do I recite 3 times or 7 times as this practice Dharma? Master Lian said, once is also okay. I feel that many times you don't recite the Dharani when you need the water. You can do it on a daily basis. You know, there are many people who also recited 10,000 times. There are a lot of people who like to recite the great compassionate Dharani. So if you really have the habit and you really have the merits, you can use them anytime. We can also recite the heart mantra. That's also okay. That's also strength. That's also power in the mantra.
Master
好的，谢谢上师一一的回答。我看
Master
那么
Lianyi
还
for
有
answer.
有没有同门说要开麦来问上师的？
Is there anyone
因
who
为
like
今天
to?
印尼那一方面的没有印尼的翻译员，所以就他们的问题应该留到下一个星期再请上师解答了。好的，我们时间也差不多了。
The time is almost up.
有问题就留着下一次吧。
So
我看
if you have questions, we can leave for the next lesson because the time is almost up.
好了，那么我们有请雷上师和大家道别了。
We like to invite Master Lianyi to say goodbye to everyone. Let's put our palms together and thank Living Buddha Lianxia for compassionately meeting lights on everyone. And on the class, we would like to thank Chairman Master Chen Zhu, Education Director Master Lian He, PR Director Master Lian Chia, Master Lian Fei. Thank you very much. We'd like to thank Masters, Dharma Instructors, Masters, MC, DA, Bonan,
各位助教及各位
counselors,
一切都光明吉祥。谢谢大家，阿弥陀
everything
佛。
is successfully conducted. Classes successfully conducted. Thank you, Master. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Master Chen
谢
Zhu.
谢联合上师啊，谢谢
Master
联。
Lian Han. Thank you, Master Lian Chia. Thank you, Master Lian Fei. Thank you, Senior Reverends, Reverends, Demonstrators, Dharma Assistant, all fellow disciples, and everyone on Zoom and YouTube. We've successfully conducted this class. Thank you, Indonesian interpreter, DA Pei Fen. Thank you, Master Lian, for his encouragement. Thank you, everyone, for everyone's interaction online. Thank you, DI. 一起来讲师，这个美儿。
也感谢曲云助教制作精美的 PPT， 感谢
Thank you to
丽
the team has made the class possible.
好，感谢丽丽助教每周编写宣传稿，以及感谢幕后工程剧房助教，同时操作4台电脑了。及幕后所有工作人员，大家辛苦了，谢谢大家参与
Everyone,
上。
thank you for your hard work. See you next week. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Thank you，拜拜。
哎，谢谢梁上师。
大家的主持，
啊，谢谢
林上师，
再见，谢谢联合上师，再见，谢谢郭南主
拜
拜
拜。
拜，
谢谢超明师
谢
姐，
谢大家，拜拜。
谢谢阿弥
谢谢各
陀
位，
佛。
感恩。